So I'm going to start with you, Sam Dowler.
Thank you.
So Meghan Markle, Spotify, they've dropped the podcast and just paying 20 million. It's gone.
What a shockingly bad work ethic. This has been nearly 4 years and they've produced one podcast series. It's outrageous, especially in a cost of living crisis where people would love to have a contract like that with Spotify. So I have pals actually that work at Spotify in LA as well, and also I have. I shouldn't say it, but I will.
No,
People that I know, not at Spotify, elsewhere, that have had these conversations with Meghan and Harry via Zoom about the content that they need to be producing, and everything that they said was ridiculous. As in, people don't want to hear that. People aren't going to be interested in that. I mean, for example, Meghan has this sense of control over her own public image has crippled her, I think. And there's stuff. So they could have come up with anything. They could have Harry could have done a royal in America, a funny podcast. They could have done anything, and they couldn't even muster did they have the time? Of course they had the time. So I think it's just another embarrassing step in what's already turned into a shame show, let's say, for Meghan and Harry over in America.
Lizzie Cundy.
Well, the thing is with podcasts, they are supposed to be kind of interesting, inspiring, entertaining. Hers were none of that. I don't know whether you ever got to listen to one, but it was absolutely dull, and saying 20 million, I'm not surprised the screaming giant Spotify has dropped her from an almighty height. And she just is so full of herself. And the thing is, when you do, you're an interviewer, as you know, Nana, you have to listen. You listen to the answer. She was answering her own questions, and it was all about me, as always, with Meghan. And I'm sorry, I think the public here and over the pond just had enough of her. I'm sorry. It's a massive flop, and I don't know what she's going to do now. I mean,
but that's the thing, though. She's not Beyonce. She can't sit there and talk.
Sing.
Well, she can't sit there and talk about her, her body of work, her life's work, what she's done.
Well, she can. She did that. What was that scene in 90210?
or holding. I'm not being disrespectful. Or holding the box on Deal or No Deal. I mean, this isn't.
That's one of her better achievements.
She doesn't have this. She doesn't have this canon body of work that she can discuss.
She
had it all. That's the thing. She
did have a body of work, but she
successful.
But she splurged the whole thing out at once.
Yeah.
The whole thing about this Empire 2.0, which was terrible. The docu-series or mockumentary that they did was horrendous. But that was all done sort of so quickly. Then you had Harry's book. Then you had this. They didn't realise that if you're going to do that, you do one thing, wait a bit.
Yeah.
Capitalise.
And it's coloured everything else. And it's coloured everything else that they could do in the future. But they can't then do a podcast or a show about something else, because people will expect them to only do the one thing. They're one-trick ponies, and they don't have any other aspects of their personalities.
Sadly, she's lazy. She doesn't like working. That is it. She didn't want to work as a royal. She thought it was all going to be glitzy, the red carpet. No, actually, it's jolly hard work. Look at what Princess Anne does, one of our hardest working royals. Sorry, she's work shy. She doesn't like working.
But I want to think that I think she probably does work, but she doesn't like the work. So I think that perhaps she got the role and she's seen all the Princess Ariel and Princess this and Princess... So she just thought that it would be, what can I get you, Princess? You sit here, Princess, we'll do that. But it wasn't that. She had to get up early, go to engagements, be nice to people.
If she had done that for years, if they'd done 10 years of that and then got fed up with it, then they could talk about it, and they could talk about it with, they would know what they were talking about. They don't.
Was moaning and whinging and trashing our royal family, and as you said, then our dear late Queen died thinking, they thought there was a racist in the family.
Imagine though, you're quite young, you've come from America, this Hollywood, you got to grift and you got to grind, you got to go. Then you get this opportunity where you don't have to do any of that. I don't think that more of a case of she didn't really understand that actually you have bypassed that level of having to grift and do all that. You don't need to do that because you've elevated, you're beyond it. So now what you do is you can sit around looking pretty, wearing nice dresses, going to things and just being nice to people, and that was the vice. But she's obviously got a lot of fire in her belly. She wants to do this, wants to do that, she's ambitious. But all those things she could have done with the royal family.
But it's like you said in your monologue, they're their own worst enemies. If they'd have realised that dedicating their lives to public work would actually, we would be loving them both right now. And they would be up there, treating the colour on the balcony, and we'd be applauding them all.
Look at what they've missed. Do you not think they look and go, gosh, we have messed up. We have really have. Well, she needs to look at herself in the mirror. Sorry, Meghan, you have messed up. Big time.
I bet she looks at herself in the mirror a lot. I do. You look at I bet you do as well, eh?
Obviously, Sam hasn't today, but anyway.
Sometimes I even look at it and I just cry in the mirror just to see that I don't look too... Because if I'm going to cry, I want people to feel sorry for me. So I'm like, oh, that's ugly, honey.
My sister did that. Cried to me. How do I look when I'm crying? And ran to the bathroom. Ooh, I look terrible.
I don't want to worry you guys, though. She is on a comeback. Apparently, she's going to relaunch her new wellness blog, TIG. So watch out. She's got new management. I bet they're really happy with her.
It's going to be damage control for the new management, for starters, for at least a year, because no one's going to listen to what they have to say now, because they've had humiliation after humiliation, and so no one's going to take them seriously until they come.
We want privacy.
That's South Park.
I can't see the South Park and the head flipping backwards.
We want privacy, and she's done a new set of pap shots today, looking very sorry for herself. I mean, please.
I feel sorry for her, to be honest with you.
What, in that big mansion of 16 bedrooms?
Yeah, but riches don't bring you happiness.
Well, obviously not. Or did a prince?
No, well, I just think it's funny. It's sad because we sort of enjoy watching the whole entertaining
They've done it to themselves.
Element of it, but I would have what I would have rather liked to watch them would be on the balcony, watching the trimming of the colours.
We'd have all rather that.
I would have been more than happy with that. I've no gripe with Meghan, actually, apart from all the nonsense that she's been spewing since she left the royal family, and also actually some of the stuff when she was in it too. Actually, sorry about that. I was being a bit generous there. But what I mean is that I would have loved to have seen her as part of the royal family. I feel slightly cheated. But I suppose that's what she wanted to do.
It could have been such a different story. That's the sad thing. It is quite sad.
If they'd have gotten over those initial bumps in the road, and of course the British press can be brutal, but they've seen it, Paul, and she should have been able to manage that. They should have taught her how to manage it, and they could have got past it. If they'd have gotten past it, they would have been on the balcony today.
To be honest, I don't think she would have.
She wanted to be top dog, and sorry, she was never going to be top dog.
She was too jealous of Kate, and too jealous. I'm sorry.
They're their own worst enemies.
That's conjecture, isn't it?
I think she was, but that's just my thoughts.